Hey everybody, welcome to the Bucs Report Show. Looking forward to a great show tonight. We got some special guests, Mystery and Mayhem. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I look forward to seeing you all shortly. Welcome to the Bucs Report Show. BR Live right here on Bucs Report. Who's ready? Who's ready? I am ready. I am ready for some Bucs talk, guys. Looking forward to a good night of talk. We got some special guests coming up here. We have we got James. You guys will see. We got James coming, Matthew coming. It's going to be very, very good show tonight. And I've got 4 things happening at one time. Sorry about that. But I'm looking forward to what we're going to have. We got Matthew Davis. He's the contributing writer for Heavy on the Buccaneers. He's coming at 9:40. We have James from Mr. Bucs Nation coming. And we got the Parrot Army is out here ready to cause the pandemonium. Bring the pandemonium. That's what the Parrot Army does. They're already lined up in the lobby and ready to go. It's good to see you guys. It's good to see you guys. I'm Mike Stover. How are you? Steven Stiles. How you doing? And I am, let's see. All right. Steven is a South Carolina Bucs fan. Well, I'm a North Carolina Bucs fan. So how about that, Steven? We got all kinds of good things coming up. I want to talk to you about a couple of things. I want to talk about the Buccaneers. I want to talk about the Buccaneers running back room and some thoughts I have on the running back room. I've been spending a lot of time thinking about the running back room and the tight ends, and I want to talk to you guys about that. And we got Johnny Dean, the professor. He's going to be coming on here shortly. He'll give us his insight. Matt Colson, Matt from Oklahoma, will be coming on. But yeah, there's all kinds of interesting stuff that we have that I want to talk about because the Bucs, it's been very quiet. It's been very quiet, and that's such a good thing. It is such a good thing that it is this quiet. You guys don't realize that, where there's a lot of noise coming out of camp is San Francisco. And that noise is usually like it's an ambulance pulling the players off the field because these guys keep, blowing out their legs, blowing out their knees year after year. Something's going on in San Francisco. I don't know what the deal is, but I'd be doing something about that training staff if I were them. They're losing players left and right. The Buccaneers, in the meantime, go in, have camp, go home. Everybody's fine. There's no major issues, no major stories, no major breaking news. It's like a machine. Doesn't that sound like New England? Sounds like New England has for years. Again, guys, I'm going to say it. It was Brady, not Belichick. I know both of them contributed. I know that Belichick gave Brady his chance. I know all of that. But Tom Brady's a special cat. And I'm not going to I'm just not going to give Belichick all the credit. I'm going to give Brady all the credit, basically. Belichick, sure, he was there. He helped. He did all of that. But I just believe that Tom Brady knows how to carry a team better than any player. I'm going to say this again. I believe Tom Brady knows how to carry a team possibly better than any player that I can think of in recent history. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the defense, but we're going to focus a little more on offense tonight, and I want to talk about the running back situation. And the first thing I'm going to do is bring in a couple of guys here. I'm going to bring in Matt Colson. I'm going to bring him in live on the stream, and I'm also going to bring in the Professor Johnny Dean. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing, Johnny?
All right.
Good to have
How
you
you
back.
doing?
Missed, my friend. You have been missed.
I had a busy weekend.
Yeah. It was a crazy weekend. So, guys, I want to talk to you guys first of all about the running back room. I got some questions about the running back room or thoughts about the running back room. And I've sat there and I've tried to run this scenario through in my head over and over and over and how this is going to go down. And, last year it was primarily Rojo all the way through kind of the playoffs. And what a great luxury when Rojo gets hurt to have Leonard Fournette be able to step in. Now you've got Giovanni Bernard. You still have Keyshawn Vaughn waiting in the wings. Guys, is this running back by committee where nobody's really going to shine? Is that what we're looking at? Start with you, Matt. I
think we're going to have a running back by committee until somebody shines in a game on a game-to-game basis.
Okay.
What I mean by that is you got to have somebody that's going to start the game, but that doesn't mean he has to finish.
Right.
And there's so much variance between the different individual running backs. That we have a slot for whatever's available against that defense that week.
I have an interesting question about that, and we'll get to Johnny on this. Johnny, I've heard for years we're going to go with the hot hand, and they never seem to do that. It's something I've always been confused about because they always say we're going to go with the hot hand, but then, Rojo's tearing them up, running down the field, going, and everything's going great, and then they get to the 10-yard line and they pull Rojo out and start throwing the ball. Use a different back. I mean, I've seen this for years on different teams. It's not just Tampa. Does it? I mean, am I crazy, Johnny?
This isn't like 10, 12 years ago, man. Today it's specialists. Everybody's a specialist. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You got your between the 20s.
Right.
Rojo is great.
Right.
But you want to stick him in the red zone because he just doesn't have the power to get through. That's where somebody like Fournette comes in.
Okay.
And King Henry. Henry.
Oh yeah.
Henry seems to be the only person out there that can do it all right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. That's kind of where running back committees have taken the league.
Right.
And
you know what I'm talking about a hot hand? It seems weird to me. It's like they're not running. They say we're going to go with the hot hand.
Well, a hot hand is only a hot hand until it's not. And once a team notices you go into a certain spot or starts recognizing a pattern,
right,
then that hot hand just gets cold real quick.
Yeah, it just seems like sometimes I've noticed this with coaches, especially genius coaches, that coaches that are known as being geniuses like Arians or like Belichick or the Sean McVays. They overthink themselves. It's like they believe in their own genius so much that they do things that leave me scratching my head like, what the heck are you thinking?
Well, that's kind of their job, is to leave people scratching their heads. They're trying to trick the other teams too, and anything they say publicly, the other teams got access to it too.
But when you're on the 1 yard line and you start running Rojo instead of Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, I know. That didn't happen again. That didn't happen again.
Right. I mean, no, it happened in the playoffs, right? When that one of the playoff games had happened in.
I thought it was before the playoffs.
No, they were on the 1 yard line and they just started running Rojo 3 straight times and he couldn't get in. And then they kicked the field goal and I was like, well, or no, Brady took it in or something at that point. I don't even remember, to be honest with you. I don't remember, but they were running Rojo and it just seemed to me, it was confusing. It was like, I don't understand. You guys are better than this. What are you doing? Sometimes it's just that genius thing that I just think, yeah, we're going to trick them and we're going to run Rojo from the 1.
And we're going to trick them again and we're going to run in the same place. And then we're going to trick them again and then we're going to
surely they're not expecting it 3 times
in a row.
Right. That's the thing that I always that leaves me wondering what the deal is. But I look at our running back room, and I've got a question: is it possible? And I want both of you guys to answer. Is it possible it can be too stacked? Are there too many good running backs? By the way, hi Stephen Glasgow, saw you in the chat room. How you doing, buddy? Is it possible?
Yes, I think we kind of have that. Just for conversation's sake, I haven't heard anything this week about us having to have Le'Veon Bell.
I did just before I came on. I saw a post saying, should we sign Le'Veon Bell or not?
Oh, that'd be the first one I've seen.
$2.50.
Right. And a can of Coke every game.
Yeah, but I don't even know that we should give him that because it's actually a problem when you have too many good people at a position.
Well, you realize that Bell just canceled his football career. He just came out and canceled his football career.
How's that?
Do you know how many of what's his name? Andy Reid's.
Oh yeah. About how he said he'd never play for Andy Reid again.
Yeah, his coaching tree is extensive. When he came out with that comment, he's off the list. He's off the list.
Right. I'll never play for Andy Reid
again. He just canceled his career.
Yeah, that's probably true. You probably won't play for Andy Reid again, or maybe anyone else. I mean, when was the last time he was relevant? When was the last time he did something? But I want to draw a parallel to him. Ironically, somebody who came out of Pittsburgh, went to several teams, bounced around, and didn't do much. Antonio Brown. And then all of a sudden,
you didn't have to say his name, dude.
Yeah, found the right place, and look at what happened. Could the same thing happen to Le'Veon Bell, or is he just done?
I think there's a difference when you're acting crazy on the streets or acting crazy with John Gruden and them, and you actually come out and insult one of the best liked coaches in the league.
Yeah.
Well,
I think he was saying because he didn't feel the way that they used him was they didn't use him properly, and that's fine. And let me tell you something: there are times that's true. Johnny, you and I have talked a great deal about systems,
right? And
somebody being right for the right, for the system. And Le'Veon Bell obviously just wasn't there. I mean, and that place is with Andy Reid. Running backs go there and disappear. Okay, they do under Andy Reid.
So you know where the right system was?
What's that?
You know where the right system for Bell was?
Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh.
No, I understand that. That was the right system for him. This is what I find confusing to me, I guess, when it comes to something to like Le'Veon Bell. Okay, now I look at what he said as you're probably correct, Johnny, in you saying he probably just ended his career. But I look at what he said and I kind of go, well, I get it. Name the last really good running back on an Andy Reid team.
Right, I agree, but everybody knew that. Bell should have known that when he went there. I mean, he was in such a big hurry.
That's the kicker. That is the kicker. The only thing I wonder is what was he told to get him there? That's the only thing.
He was told that he could get out of the Jets. That's what he was told.
I'm in. Yeah.
He got drawn in by that opportunity to get a ring, though. I think a lot of players do, and they say, "Oh yeah, I can do that."
Yeah.
And then they get there, and they're like, "I don't really want to do that." So, so they.
Well, now this also brings up the tight end room because there's a lot of tight ends, a lot of very good tight ends. I mean, you can't. It's an embarrassment of riches, both at running back and at tight end and at wide receiver, if you want to be honest. I mean, it's really crazy. Listen, the closer this season comes, the more I look at it and scratch my head and just think, oh boy. I talked today to a customer today at our store that I was in. And the customer is, he comes in, he's dressed in a Jacksonville Jaguars shirt. His wife was wearing I don't remember who it was. He was wearing, Cincinnati Bengals shirt. And, so I started up a conversation with them. And we were talking about, I talked to them about my experience working with the Bengals a little bit. And then I talked about Jacksonville and what are his expectations. And he said, it's all turning around this year. Get ready. This is going to be, everything's turning around this year. And I thought, well, they're buying the hype. Okay. Now I know as a Bucs fan, I've been there. Okay. Where you buy the hype because of the new players. And look, this is why we're football fans. Okay. So we can be excited and happy. All right. We are that is what we're excited. I mean, that's why we do this. So I don't begrudge a Jacksonville Jaguars fan who says, all right, guys, this is it. New coach, new quarterback. This is it. I get it. Okay. You had a pretty good draft. Good. I get it. All right. You're excited. Good for you. You should be. You're certainly better than you were before. But I look at the Buccaneers and my reaction is I'm going to say almost the opposite. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around what amounts to, guys, especially on offense. On offense, let's call it a super team. Okay. On defense, it's amazing because while they do have JPP and they do have Ndamukong Suh, these are drafted people for the most part, and they're that good.
Right.
So the Bucs, in essence, are a super team. And
I don't think of one spot right now that if they, all right, man, Brady did this to me. Brady did this to me. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And you and Matt love to say this. We got to get him.
Yeah. We got to get him.
Stephon Gilmore.
Uh-huh.
All pro last 3 years straight.
Uh-huh.
Come on, man.
Does he fit the system?
They're letting him go because of $10 million. Huh?
Does he fit the system?
Yeah. Stephon Gilmore is one of the most versatile cornerbacks there is.
Okay.
We could use cornerback help. I
can see them saying, SMB, would you like to move back to a backup role again?
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't.
You just can't say no to somebody of that talent.
Right.
I know we don't have the money. I mean, he wants $10 million. The Patriots are throwing him away for $7 million.
That happens in New England.
Listen, but listen, Belichick always seems to know when to throw away players other than Tom Brady. But I mean,
no, McGinnis had a great career after he left there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Vince Wilfork didn't do too bad with the Texans for 4 or 5 years.
AB, but that was a whole different circumstance.
That was completely different. AB was locked onto Tom Brady's umbilical cord.
Yeah, that was a whole different circumstance. He got himself kicked out of the league, basically. By the way, hi to Mike Stover. Hi to Steven Stiles. I said that. Keith Larson's out there. How you doing? Tyler Scott. Hi, guys. Christopher Cole bringing it as always. Harry Berg is out there. Awesome. I am. Here's the thing. Harry just brought up a quote. Harry just brought up something I want to address. Harry just said SMB will be a Pro Bowler this year. Watch. Here's the thing. Guys, the Pro Bowl team is not going to be only Buccaneers.
No.
All right. I don't know what the record is. Okay. I don't know what the most ever in the Pro Bowl is from one team. But you look at this team and it's easy to look at it and go, it's so easy to look at this and go, well, okay, Evans Pro Bowl. He should make the Pro Bowl. Godwin should make the Pro Bowl. Well, AB, of course, should make the Pro Bowl because he's probably the best one of all three. All right, Brady should make the Pro Bowl. Okay, well, playoff Lenny or Lombardi Lenny, yeah. Well, you got to put Gronk in there. You got to. I mean, I haven't gotten to defense yet. Those guys. Here's what Bucs fans need to wrap your mind around this now. Everybody, listen and wrap your mind around this right now, guys. There are going to be a lot of players that do not make the Pro Bowl that you guys think should make the Pro Bowl because they're not going to have 14 Buccaneers on the NFC Pro Bowl team.
I only need to see two: Levante David and Mike Evans.
White. Oh, yeah, Devin White.
Yeah, I can see Devin White making an appearance because Quan Alexander went the same year that Levante David did.
Yeah. I think I want to see Levante David. I want to see Devin White. I want to see Mike Evans.
All, man.
Well, I do too. But the thing is this: what is that? What are you showing me?
4 teams have tied 7 players per Pro Bowl.
Okay, so let's pick right now. Let's do this right now. 7 players. Matt, you draw
Off
the
our
first
team?
one. You draw the first Buccaneer. Let's go up to 7.
Well, let's go with Devin White.
Okay. Johnny?
Mike Evans.
Okay. I'm going to
Kill
say
myself.
I'm going to say Levante David. Okay. So that's 3. Matt.
We got to have Brady.
Okay. Johnny?
4.
Winfield.
That's a good one. Okay. Rob Gronkowski. That's 6. Matt, give me another one.
Let's just go with Lenny. Just to fill it out.
All right. So if that's the
Sorry,
7
Harry
that
didn't make it.
What's that?
I said, sorry, Harry. SMB didn't make it.
Right. SMB didn't make it. JPP didn't make it. And Ndamukong Suh didn't make it. Chris Godwin didn't make it. Antonio Brown didn't make it.
We're all homers though, so we're not looking at the obvious ones, which those guys that you just mentioned.
But
JPP,
hold on. You also
Suh.
didn't. We also didn't put Tristan Wirfs. Okay, who probably deserves
an
it.
offensive lineman in the Pro Bowl. I mean,
well, you got to have an
thinks about
offensive
that.
line. You got to have an offensive line.
But when you're sitting around at a bar somewhere,
The most important thing about this is
not going to come up.
Right.
The most important thing about this is you can get all pro selection, which is more important for Hall of Fame consideration,
Right.
without being in a Pro Bowl.
A Pro Bowl. I want to point out one thing. I want to make a prediction right now. Okay, I would say write it down, but yeah, who's going to do that? Here's the thing. Let's wait. Harry just said I stand to be corrected. Then what? 19 Ravens. The 2019 Ravens had 12 players. He said.
I'm going to have to check that. That's terrible.
Yeah, I that would be. I'll be shocked if that's correct, but maybe
7
it is.
Players named to tie a franchise. I don't know. Let me read this in more detail because this is about last year's Super Bowl or a Pro Bowl.
Okay, just look up 2019 Ravens Pro Bowl. But the thing is this, guys, there are going to be players that are good players that we're going to feel like should make the Pro Bowl that are not going to make it. And there's probably going to be 1 or 2 that make it and we go, what? I mean, that's probably going to be the case. But we've got to wrap our minds around the fact that some people who are really good aren't going to make the Pro Bowl.
Right.
That's just a fact. And everybody say, "Oh, the Buccaneers never get respect." Well, if you end up with 7 players and you tie the record, you gonna tell me they don't get respect?
Harry's right. The record, I stand corrected. The record is 12 players, and it originally was set by Miami 73.
Okay.
That was the undefeated team, wasn't it?
Okay, so there were 12.
The 73 team, that was actually a better team than the 72 team.
Right.
It was a year
Okay,
after.
so what we're saying here, 12 players, thank you, Harry. If there were 12 players that made it, do you guys realize, I mean, and I bet you they all didn't play. There were probably some that were named to the team and didn't go, so they had alternates.
That's
I'm
how
guessing
Jameis
that's
got
how.
in.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's how that worked. So,
Yeah.
I mean, guys, I'm just saying everybody needs to be ready that there are good players who are going to get snubbed, and you got a super team. I mean, what are you going to just make the Pro Bowl team the Bucs?
Well, yeah,
I mean,
that's the
Well,
plan.
it's the Bucs. There's not going to be any Bucs playing in the Pro Bowl anyway.
That's exactly right. You just took it out of my mouth.
All they get to do is go to Orlando,
playing
right?
in the Pro Bowl.
Brady can take Disney World and just take the team to it by himself. They'll shut the park down for him.
Yeah, but it's weird to think, though, isn't it? That I mean, would you guys see what I'm talking about when I say this is the super team? This is like.
Well, I've said this before, but this is the most stacked team that I think I've seen since they did away with the unlimited free agency in the 80s. I mean, back then you could pay whatever you could buy.
Who stacked a team more than this?
Well, I know a couple of teams that tried to stack a team like this. The Eagles did that one year when everybody was just giving them the Super Bowl, and then they didn't even make the playoffs.
But you remember even who those guys were? They were guys like, was it Deuce Staley?
Good
Yeah,
God,
at the
that's
time.
a long
On that
time
team.
ago.
Right. I mean, now compare that to
Deshaun
Leonard
Jackson in
Fournette.
his prime.
What's that?
Deshaun Jackson while he was still in his prime, and
Okay. Now compare that though to Evans and Godwin, and I mean it just still seems to me like, yeah, they got a lot of good players, but man, we've got players that could be Pro Bowlers that aren't even playing. They're on the bench. I mean,
That's a good problem to have, though.
it's stupid how good the team is.
Giovanni Bernard get a Pro Bowl.
Come on.
You get a Pro Bowl and you get a Pro Bowl. And you
Right.
get a Pro Bowl.
I mean, come on. At some point, you've got to look at things and go, this is just kind of, I mean, this is ridiculous.
It is,
I mean,
until we get started, and then when somebody gets hurt, we'll see how it works out. But
yeah, I mean, it really, really is.
You know
insane.
how many players we're going to have to cut that are A1 starters on most of the other teams out there?
Yeah.
I mean,
right now, I don't see that happening. Maybe after next year.
I don't do what, Johnny?
I said right now, I don't see that happening after next year because there's going to be some retirees coming up here.
I'm talking about at this post preseason when we have to have the walk and everybody gets cut down to the last 58 or whatever it's going to be, 60 something, right? There's going to be quality coming off this team, not some like the Buccaneers in '76 got. I'm talking about quality players. They're going to drop off here and be able to be picked up by somebody else.
Right.
And I can't remember in my lifetime ever being in a situation where I knew a team was going to have to do that.
Well, but that's the thing is if you followed New England for years, you've watched them get rid of very good players. And it's going to happen here in Tampa, and people are going to lose their effing minds.
Yeah, they will.
Next year when the Bucs start dropping JPP and start, I mean, when I'm telling you guys, it's coming, get ready. You know how, we've heard so much about, okay, we're bringing back all the starters, right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean they're all going to be the same starters.
Right.
Okay. Some other people, what if they take over that position? All right. I mean, this team is not going to be exactly the same as last year. And you guys need to realize that because coaching, this team has phenomenal coaching.
Right.
Okay.
That's
phenomenal.
Steven. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
how you doing?
So talk to me, buddy. When I talk about the running back room, right? I was talking about the running back room and saying it's not just stacked; it's ridiculously stacked, right?
Yeah.
Who loses? Who's the loser in that? Is it Keyshawn Vaughn? I mean, I guess.
Nah. I think, unfortunately, Keyshawn Vaughn will be the odd man out. I've given this some thought, and you guys are making this aside from the running back room, and then you start talking about who's going to go to the Pro Bowl, and you're making this way too hard. It's just really simple stuff. I think it's going to come down to the two guys I think they're going to take over the running back room are going to be Giovanni Bernard and Lombardi Lenny. Those are going to be the two guys. Because Giovanni Bernard can do all the things that Rojo can do, but better, especially when it comes to catching passes. And then when Fournette can do, Fournette doesn't hit the hole quite as fast.
Right.
He doesn't necessarily have Rojo's quickness, but he's a pounder, man.
He doesn't have to. Right. Somebody meets him at the line, that's okay.
Yeah, he runs over them.
Yeah. Andrew. We got Andrew Faubert here from North Sports Dynasty. How you doing, Andrew?
Not too bad, Rick. Thanks for having me.
I'm happy you're here. Now, I don't know if you've heard, but my discussion, the thing that I'm bringing up is my wondering if the embarrassment of riches at running back. It's weird to say, could that be a problem? But here's where it could be a problem. You don't want discord in that locker room.
Right.
Okay. And we heard last year Fournette started getting a little squirrely and they straightened him out. I don't think you'll have that problem with him this year, but you might. And who knows what else is going to happen. Now that on a positive note, they handled that pretty well last year, didn't they?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So there's enough leadership and veteran leadership on this team. And you've got Tom Brady, who's just going to turn and say, hey, shut up. and you can argue with him. I mean, no. But Andrew, who's the odd man out in the running back room? Who's getting screwed?
Oh, to be honest, this might be not necessarily a throwaway answer, but I don't think any four of the main guys that we've talked about are going to be going anywhere. I mean, we look at the Philadelphia Eagles of 2017, 2018, when they won the Super Bowl there. Mm-hmm. They had four running backs that they used, five even. And then the next year after that, they went and they used three of those same ones and picked up another two. And now all of a sudden they're using their seventh string running back of the year is now all of a sudden their starter, and they have others. So this is a beautiful thing to have, though. Steven made a very good point. I actually am just on a fair opposite side of this. I think the two running backs this year that are almost a given to see field maybe at least 25% of the time every single game is Giovanni Bernard and Leonard Fournette. I think Rojo and Vaughn are going to have to show out a little bit to see who actually may get a long-term extension or who is actually going to stay on the team. Because we got to remember, Keyshawn Vaughn is a third-round pick. Third-round picks don't just necessarily get tossed away for absolutely nothing. We lost Calais, I think it was Calais Campbell or Calais something, which was another good running back, and all of a sudden now he is the third stringer on the LA Rams.
Yeah, it's Calais.
So it is a nice issue to have, especially when Giovanni Bernard is only on for 1 year contract, kind of like what Shady McCoy was last year. Because this is going to basically show Keyshawn Vaughn and Rojo coming into the season. One of you guys may have a future here, but it's unless you give us 2,000 yards and basically say this locker room is mine, you're not going to get paid major running back money. Right. You're going to have to take a hometown discount and basically prove why you would be the number one running back going forward for more than 2 years.
Okay. No, I think that I like your analysis there, and I think I said your analysis. No, I like your analysis, but it was to me, it's a very. I think you're going to end up with some disgruntled players. Not that anybody's ever gruntled, but I mean, I think you're going to end up with some disgruntled players. Because you've got so much talent on the team. Now, they may behave and keep it together until the end of the year. But I don't know. I don't believe that what the Buccaneers have right now is sustainable. There's going to be new guys cycling in. The younger guys.
Your roster always swaps around. That's what.
Yeah.
One point of disagreement with you, Rick, on that is I think that would be true if they were not Super Bowl champions.
Okay.
When you're a Super Bowl champion, and especially so, I know for the new guys,
it's hard to repeat because guys get cocky. Man.
I'm not talking about repeating. I'm talking about when you're a Super Bowl champion, the new guys especially won't get disgruntled because they are walking into a situation that they want to be a part of.
Right.
The guys who are there, I don't think going to be disgruntled because they know what they need to do in order to make that go for two happen. And anyone seen as being counter to that is going to be gone.
And do you realize if the Buccaneers win this Super Bowl, they've got 3 Super Bowls since realignment. Yep. The Patriots have 5.
Ooh.
I want you to think about it. That's within reach.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that. I'm afraid to think about that.
That's within. If they win this year, that's within reach. Yep. Now, maybe not. Maybe you get one more in the next couple of seasons. I mean, look, something's going to go wrong at some point. Something's going to happen. Okay. I mean,
we can hope. I want them to get the 3-peat.
Yeah,
I really do want to see
that would be
yes. Yeah. I think that's what Brady wants really bad too.
Yeah. I care more about that than I care about the 20-0 season.
Then I got to ask you this. Right. Then I got to ask you this. If they were to three-peat, what does Brady do when it comes to going in the hall?
No,
he's in the hall.
He's in, but what jersey is he wearing?
He's still
already got 2 busts made for him.
He needs to be
half New England.
I mean, if he wins 3 in a row in Tampa,
Yeah, but he did 20 years in New England.
Right.
Oh,
I mean,
that
only
means
fair.
nothing. Look at Peyton Manning. He's a Denver Bronco, and he's in the front office there now after doing all that time with the Colts.
And what
but he's-
what jersey did he put on in Canton?
I don't even remember.
I think
It's
it's
a
a little bit of a
Colt.
Colt
Yeah,
jersey.
it's a
All
Colt.
right.
And
But
if you think
but
about
where's he
Montana,
at?
Montana got into the.
He didn't win three. He didn't win 3 in a row in
No,
Denver.
he didn't. But Brady was the last one who got close.
Right.
Think
So,
about this.
I see what
Think
Rick's
about this.
saying
If
here,
they
Rick.
win 3 in a row, which he never did in New England, and what if they have an undefeated season? Then his career will
What if I
be
win the lottery?
defined. Listen, hold on, Matt. His career.
Good point.
This is amazing to think about. When you tell the story of Tom Brady's career, the main part of the story will be in a Buccaneer uniform.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he did 20 years in New England. I mean, I
I
don't
hear
know how
what
else
Rick's
to
saying,
get
though,
around that.
Matt. I hear what Rick's saying. If they three-peat, and in that three-peat is an undefeated season.
Well, that's a different.
Yeah.
But that's
See,
not
he
gonna happen.
screwed
What
up
do you
though.
do?
He screwed
mean-
up. He should have been a different number. All he should have done, he should have come to Tampa and been like number 2 or something like that. That way he could have done, what Kobe did. May he rest in peace, or other
Right.
guys who did 2 numbers. So
I
Do
get
you
why.
realize, though? Do you
Yeah, no,
realize?
I get why
He-
Rick's asking the question, because Kurt Warner, you got to remember, he spent a lot of time.
Uh-huh.
He got jerked around by St. Louis,
Yeah, but he spent a lot of time. That they gave him his start. He was bagging groceries before that, right?
and then they
Yeah.
treated him like
And
the
then
old
he goes
bitch.
to Arizona. They unceremoniously get rid of him. He goes to Arizona. He takes Arizona to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And and I believe he went into Canton as an Arizona Cardinal.
He's a Cardinal.
Yeah.
In fact,
Let me
if you
ask
see
you
him on
this.
NFL, he's only
Yeah.
got the Cardinal jersey behind
Yeah.
him.
Right.
Let me ask
He
you
went to
this.
Canton as a Cardinal.
Didn't
So-
am I?
This isn't a debate, really, because
No. It's not a debate at all. It's an
the
interesting topic
Patriots
for
part of his
discussion.
career, the Patriots part of his career was all about Bill Belichick. This part of his career is telling the Patriots, no, it's me.
Right.
Right.
Right. And that's why I think it's not signed, sealed, and delivered which jersey he's wearing going into Canton. And that's so freaking hard to believe.
If
It's
he
so
does what you're talking about, where he gets a 20-0 season, which he ain't going to do, he could do 19-1.
no.
But the thing is, if you stack up all the statistics here at Tampa and everything looks so stellar, he might have an argument for going in as a Buccaneer. But I honestly I'd be shocked, because he has such a relationship with Robert Kraft up to the point where he left, and
Yeah.
Robert Kraft
you
still
don't
treats
think
him
he's
like
going to have that
little Tommy.
relationship here in Tampa?
I think he's already building that relationship here in Tampa.
That's exactly
see the
what I
Blazers
think.
come
He's
out
not
and
even the
say Tommy's a
GM
good boy?
seat, man.
Yeah.
You're right. The Glazers and not just the Glazers, but the Bucs have already done as much, if not more, for Tom Brady
Well,
than
giving him a team.
years.
Well, that's exactly right, Matt.
Okay. Yeah, but I
They've
mean,
given him a team. They've given him the support. They've
Right.
given him the
he
props.
never
They've
had
given
that.
him-
He
right.
never had that with New England. He never had that at all. And so he's gotten more in his first year than he ever had in his 20 years in New England.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
don't
agree
think
with that.
I don't think it's written. I don't think this is crazy, guys. He's 40. What? He's about to be 44,
44, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
got
about to be
5 years
44,
get planted.
and his story isn't finished being written. That's insane.
He's how I feel about him the way I felt about Nolan Ryan.
Yes,
Nolan Ryan.
that's a great Johnny. That's a great parallel. That's a great parallel. Although
With me-
Nolan Ryan didn't win as many World Series or
No,
MVPs, but
Of course.
that's a
He's
great
Iron
parallel
Man,
as for
dude.
Cal Ripken. I almost would put him in the Cal Ripken category.
He played
Well,
for
well,
one
how-
team, right?
What's
Nolan
that?
Ryan's last year with the Rangers, man, he threw what was it, 3 no-hitters or something like
Yeah,
that,
two.
man?
He threw
God,
two. He
two?
had two. Yeah.
And I
That's
had somebody who lives
crazy,
in
man.
Dallas. Nolan Ryan is a big deal here. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
he
Oh,
is. And he's
yeah.
got a mean left hook. You come
Yeah.
running up on him.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
That's a classic moment. That's a classic moment.
The old man beat that kid down. That was fun.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you're right. He's a big deal. He's got a street named after him right on the way to the Rangers Stadium. Well, the old one now. They have a new one now, but he's a big deal here.
But
Big
what
time.
did
Dale Mabry
in
was?
Texas?
I don't know who Dale Mabry was, but it's time for them to start thinking about changing the name.
Dale Mabry. Avery's a historical figure in Tampa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then one of the other streets, it's time to start thinking about it because listen, guys, I'm gonna put you guys back in the lobby. I've got a guest coming on here, and I'll pick you guys back up afterwards. Okay.
We forgive you.
Okay.
All right. Let me get you guys out of here. All right. In no particular order, somebody's going to get their feelings hurt because of somebody didn't get in the order they wanted. Who knows? And now let's bring up Matthew Davis. Hi, Matthew. How are you?
Good. How are you doing tonight, Rick?
I'm doing great. I am doing great. So you are a contributing writer for Heavy on Buccaneers, correct?
Yes, that's correct. I've been there about the same length as Antonio Brown's been with the Buccaneers. I started in October of last year.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Are you the one responsible for the ring? Is that what it is? We've been giving the wrong guy credit the whole time.
I wish, right?
Yeah. Now, prior to that, what were you doing?
I've worked in journalism over the years, a lot of different newspapers, including the Star Tribune up in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and some other random places like that. So
it's actually my favorite airport.
Oh, really?
Minneapolis is my favorite airport. I love that airport. Yeah. It's easy to navigate around, and you get to sit at your table and order the food that bring it to you. I like that airport. Anyway, let's get on to the Buccaneers. I don't know if you heard any of the discussion that we had here about the running back room.
I heard a tiny bit.
Okay.
I know it's going to be an interesting thing getting into training camp. You know, who's going to be number one? How much are Fournette and Jones going to split?
Yeah.
A lot of mystery there.
Yeah, and Giovanni Bernard, if that guy is going to take third downs, what's Keyshawn Vaughn doing? Is he taking notes this year?
That comment that Arians made at the end of minicamp doesn't sound too promising. He's saying he's looking at special teams for him, and I know the week before he wasn't too happy when Keyshawn went over to Brady's practice instead of the OTA. So that didn't go over well. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm as I watch him. I mean, as I watch what's happening in that room, I was so excited about Keyshawn Vaughn, but I start looking and going, I don't know, man. I mean, is that guy just a depth piece right now, and then maybe he'll get a shot next year? I mean, is that sort of the spot he's in? I don't know. Talk about a great place to learn.
He definitely has some opportunities still. I mean, Jones is in a contract year, so if Ronald Jones doesn't produce enough, I mean, the Buccaneers may let him walk in free agency. Yeah. It's hard to say. And
well, you brought up some interesting, Matthew, and I kind of agree. I believe part of the reason Rojo is as popular as he is, and you're probably going to laugh at this, but I think there's truth to this, is because he goes by the name Rojo. It's why everybody liked Muscle Hamster. You kind of like that guy. It's marketable. It is. It's marketing. It's good. That's a marketing thing. It makes it, who doesn't like Rojo? But my question is he, remember in New England, if you play fantasy football at all, there was no way to pick a running back.
That's true. It's
from game to game. Right. Is that what's going to happen here? From game to game, is it going to be completely different? And we have no earthly idea what to expect out of the team.
Yeah, I kind of wonder what's going to happen. I mean, I'd like to think that, Leonard Fournette found his groove in the playoffs, and maybe he could become the primary back. But there was a little bit of inconsistency during the regular season that can't be overlooked either. I mean, we'll see about midway through the season if, he's really going to be playoff Lenny all year long, or if he just caught lightning in a bottle right at the end there.
Right. Now, the tight end room is somewhat similar.
It really is.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and so is the wide receiver room. I mean, wide receiver, I didn't even get to that with the bunch. What wide receiver loses because they can't keep all these guys? Who's the odd one out?
Right. I mean, still OJ Howard, there was another update on him recently. I mean, hopefully he's back. I mean, you got Cameron Braid. Some of the other guys further down the depth chart, they seem to like Tanner Hudson's been around for a little bit.
Right.
And Robert Gronkowski was healthy all of last year, so that's a really good sign that hopefully he's going to be healthy again this year and really be a big pass catcher and blocker again.
What about wide receiver? I mean, how many can you have on a team?
I know. I mean, I just wonder when are they going to just run out of room for receivers? I mean, they like Jalen Darden, but he's injured, and maybe that's the thing. They just keep seeming to have like nagging injuries with all these different receivers. I mean, Chris Godwin was banged up all year last year.
So was Mike Evans. I mean, yeah, Mike. That training staff needs to be spending all of its time on his hamstrings.
Absolutely.
That absolutely needs to happen because he's got chronic hamstring issues, and you don't want to end up like San Francisco, who no, what a mash unit that is. I mean, what a mess again this year. Do you blame the training staff for that? I mean, what would you do?
I don't know. I just on almost kind of a personal note. I grew up a Minnesota Twins fan. They had tons of injuries with Joe Mauer and some other guys, and the training staff got the blame. And honestly, I kind of see that similar situation with the Bucs. If we started having the same guys injured over and over, I mean, you start to have to kind of look at the training staff. I mean, that's their job, is to get these guys healthy out there and sustain it.
Yeah. Well, they had a great year last year with injuries. Other than OJ Howard and I mean, even Vita Vea, how that guy made it back and didn't just make it back, he made it back with a vengeance.
Yeah, he really did. That was impressive.
Yeah. I mean, that's a guy, when we were talking just a few minutes ago, we were talking about Pro Bowlers. We didn't even mention him. You know, I mean, there are so many good players on this team. It's an embarrassment of riches. And you look at, I just called it, for me, this is a super team. I mean, it's kind of crazy. There's somebody everywhere on this team.
Yeah, this is the closest you can get. I mean, it's almost kind of like playing Madden and stacking your team.
Yeah.
With all guys that are in the 80s and 90s for ratings.
Yeah.
That's what this Bucs team looks like. And they can stay healthy and make a big run.
Yeah. Okay. What article, tell me, what article did you have that came out today?
Well, I just put up one about an hour ago, an update on Cameron Kinley, that was a rookie for the Bucs, with out of the Naval Academy, had a nice career there. He was a class president, just a great guy, wants to serve our country. And unfortunately, the Navy called him and said, "Hey, we need you. You're going to do your service term now." And so they pulled him away from the Bucs. He tried to appeal. They said no, but there was just a change with the Secretary of the Navy. That was just appointed by the president. So maybe there's a chance he's. Kinley told WFLA this afternoon that he hasn't contacted the new secretary yet, but intends to, and is hopeful that maybe there's a chance for change. And Arians really liked the guy in minicamp, so maybe there's a chance that he can get approved. And we need the depth at secondary because there were some injuries there last year too.
Right. That if there's anywhere, but you're building depth. You're not. We were just talking about bringing in. Oh shoot, I forgot his name. Johnny, if you can type in who we were just talking about coming in at cornerback. Somebody that is available now, and we were laughing about getting him on the team. And I find it funny to me. There's just no more. Where are you putting anybody? I mean, people are not. There's going to be cuts that are going to shock somebody. I mean, I can't see otherwise. Somebody's not going to make this team that we all just think, they were a starter last year. They're one of the 22 that came back. You just got to wonder if that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting part. I mean, it's hard to imagine that one of those 22 starters wouldn't be back, but just all the other depth they've added, and they played 31 players that have a really heavy amount of snaps last year. Yeah, and we like the draft picks. There's somebody's going to make this team, and somebody surprising isn't. I don't know who it is. And Arian said something toward the end of minicamp that's interesting. He said a couple of guys seem kind of out of shape. Didn't say names, and that makes sense at the same time. But that's happened before. I've seen that in other NFL camps. Somebody's not in game shape, and they get cut.
Well, and I think that's the wake-up call. But it wouldn't surprise me though if that's coach speak. If they all didn't come back pretty good, in pretty good shape. But he had to say that to keep some people on edge, make sure they're sharp, make sure they're ready to go next time. Everybody's healthy and everything. I saw an article earlier this week. I don't recall where it was, but somebody wrote an article about, is Todd Bowles the guy taking over for Arians after Arians?
Well, yeah, I saw that too. That is really interesting. I could kind of see that. I mean, Arians probably has, let's say, 3 years tops. Maybe it's a little bit longer.
Right.
But Bowles, I mean, he didn't get a coaching job elsewhere. The Buccaneers obviously really like him. It's nice to hire a defensive-minded coach, and almost, kind of makes me think of like maybe it's Tony Dungy 2.0, only hopefully it's more tenure than Dungy did.
Right. But then I was under the impression Arians was sort of trying to groom Byron Leftwich for that job. Now, I don't know how else to say this. We need Todd Bowles around. If Todd Bowles leaves, that's a massive hit for this team to take.
I think they need him more than they need Leftwich.
Yeah.
Leftwich seems like he's a promising coach too, no doubt. But when you got a defensive mastermind like Bowles, that's a good thing. Yeah.
So find a way to keep that guy. But I don't know. I mean, I get the feeling Todd Bowles, honestly get the feeling after next year, Todd Bowles is going somewhere. If they win a Super Bowl next year or even go to the Super Bowl next year and the defense looks like the defense that we saw, how do you not hire him? I mean, how does somebody not make that call? But who knows?
That's right. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised either. I mean, that's so typical in the NFL. Coordinators do well on a really good team. They make it deep in the playoffs at least. Yeah, they're going to be somewhere else next year.
Yeah. Matthew, tell me something. When it comes to the New Orleans Saints, we're going to face them twice a year.
Right.
What do you think is in store regarding Jameis Winston? Which Jameis Winston? I mean, what are we going to see from him? Is he same old Jameis?
I don't know. I think Sean Payton is a really good offensive coach, and I think that they have some really good weapons with Kamara and Michael Thomas. That's going to be an interesting dynamic. I mean, in some ways, there's a lot of similarities with the Bucs. I mean, especially his last 2 years, and we know how the last year went. I mean, 30 interceptions. I have a feeling that Jameis will get benched quicker there than he did in Tampa if he has that kind of trouble, especially because the reputation followed him there, obviously. Well, no, I mean, I kind of, in one sense, as a general football mind, liked what I saw with him in the divisional game. They used him on a trick play, and certainly it looks like he did a few good things when he was playing a little bit last year. And it's hard if he learned his lesson because he didn't play that much. But I think he's set up to have a really good opportunity to right the ship. And
that's what I think.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what I think. And I think everybody who's counting counting on Jameis being the Jameis we know, hold on. I'm not sure what to expect. Now, interesting, fun little question is this. What happens when Winston takes the field in Tampa? Cheers? Boos? What are we going to hear?
Wow, I almost wonder if it's going to be like a 50-50 kind of thing. Because, I mean, I see on social media, there's people that feel really sympathetic or Jason or Jameis and all that kind of stuff. And there's others that are just like, who's bad? I mean, I get it. He was a number one draft pick. His 5 years was kind of disappointing. And, but I mean, what is he, 25
He's still
now?
Young. Yeah, he's still young. Yeah.
He got thrown in right away.
Right.
A lot of quarterbacks have struggled in their first year under Arians, including some bigger names like Luck and Manning. So, I think it's going to be a mixed bag. Honestly, it might also depend on like how many Gator fans and Hurricane fans versus Seminole fans are in the stands too. I think a little bit of that factor as well.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. And he's close to home now, I guess, up in the Panhandle or up in Alabama, where he's from. So Bessemer. But, yeah, what are you going to do? Matthew, I want to thank you for joining me. Tell everybody where they can find you.
So you can find me at heavy.com, /Buccaneers, or Heavy on Buccaneers on Facebook. We have posts every day and articles on what's going on with the Buccaneers and some other fun stuff. And always looking to connect with more readers.
Awesome. Very good. So yeah, guys, go to heavy.com and you can read what Matthew's writing about our Bucs, and I hope you will come back and visit us again.
That sounds good. Thank you very much, Rick. Have a great evening.
Thank you. You too.
Care.
All right. That was Matthew Davis from Heavy on the Buccaneers. And what I want to do here real quick, I'm going to bring Mr. Bucs Nation. James, come on in here, my friend. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. So we are going to do something a little bit different, something you're not used to.
Okay.
So get ready. We're going to bring in, we're going to start shuffling in some miscreants with you. Some of our other friends, our other guys, and we're all going to be a part of this. Because,
okay.
All right. And I want them all to be able to ask you questions. There's Andrew, and you never know what to expect. And of course, Stephen Glasker. Sure. Stephen's always all these guys. These are the guys. I want you to meet these guys, James, because these are the guys that I'll say carry any show that I do.
Okay.
So,
well, hello to everybody.
Yeah.
Hello.
These guys. So Matt, if you've got what question, if you can ask, we're going to go around the horn. Ask James what what's on your mind? What's on the fans' mind? What's on your mind? What do you want to ask?
I don't know. You put me on a spot.
All right, Johnny. Let's go to Johnny.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And what was the question again?
No, yeah, you get to ask James a question. Holy cow, you guys! I just bragged on you. No, I was saying
muted.
I'm ready.
Okay.
All right, go, Steven.
Hey, James, how you doing?
Good, Steven. How are you doing today?
I'm great, man. I love your videos, brother. I'm telling you, my favorite, I watch you quite often. My favorite was the one that you did play-by-play for the championship game, and the look on your face when you said, "We're going to the Super Bowl." That was one of my favorite moments. That was what I enjoyed that very much. But the question I have for you, and you do phenomenal analysis, by the way. I appreciate that. You do a great job analyzing not just the games, but the players individually. So like I said, I really enjoy your channel very much. I need to know, as a Tom Brady fan, why you have a mustache on whoever that is behind you over your shoulder.
Sure. So first off, Steven, I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. Tom Brady's been he's been a meme, man. That's Tom right there with the mustache. I don't remember how that happened, to be honest. It just looks perfect. It's been a mystery, I slapped it on there a couple of years ago, and I mean, just the fat head itself, just on the whiteboard, and I think it's a pretty good background piece. Obviously, we have that now. We have the Tom Brady holding the Zingers Mountain Melt of Miller's Ale House. So it's a lot of weird Tom Brady stuff going on in the background, man. It really is. I mean, we got a whole freaking canvas right here, So as to why is there on the whiteboard, I couldn't tell you. I've just had it in my room for absolute years now. My gosh, it's probably been. I've had it in here for 10 years. I just like to move it around from time to time.
And then somehow it just grows.
Yeah.
It just grows. Andrew, do you have any questions for him?
I guess the only question I would ever have for you is, besides obviously the Super Bowls and playoff games, what is the most memorable regular season game for you as a Buccaneers fan?
Oh, that's a great question.
Man, there's a couple. I mean, memorable for good and bad reasons, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I was there when Jameis threw his last pick six.
Wow.
And it went into OT. I thought, oh man, this is going to be good. I was actually with a friend of mine who flew all the way down from New York to watch the game. And he said, all right, OT's starting, this is good. And a buddy we were with said, she said, he's going to throw a pick. We said, no, he won't. He won't do that. Jameis would, maybe he would not never do that. But we thought, OT just started. There's no way. And it happened so fast.
Yeah.
Like 8 seconds, and the game was completely over. And I was laughing because I love the chaos, man. But, I just remember seeing that going, oh my God, he actually just did that. Like, that is insane. And my friend who flew down from New York to watch us, he was speechless, just did not say a word. So that was a really interesting thing. The Packers game that they just had, the non-NFC championship one was just phenomenal, right? Like that one was just the more that game went on, the more it was just like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Like, is this really happening? We're really killing them like this. The Rams game from last year was huge.
That was a great game.
That
game.
That was a phenomenal game just for me personally, because that was the first time I'd hosted like a watch party type thing.
Oh wow, what a game.
Yeah, so we did it at Buffalo Wild Wings. It was the first ever watch party that we had hosted on the channel, and that was just an awesome experience, right? So I would say just in recent memory, some of those would be memorable either for good or for bad.
Nice. Very nice.
That's actually, I want to, Andrew, what's yours?
Actually, if we're going just regular season, I think it was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I think the final score was 19-14. The Patriots came to our division or our arena, and they actually played Tom Brady and those Patriots that year very, very well, to the point where I was like, we may actually beat Brady, and this would be like our Super Bowl here. So that's always my favorite, just because we were that close, and I knew our team had talent around it. So
I was at that game because that was the one when they inducted John Gruden into the Ring of Honor, right? Or was that
maybe?
Was that a Falcons game? Was that a Falcons game that they inducted him in?
Maybe.
I think it was a Falcons game because I think I was at that game.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that I was at.
Because I remember being at both those games. I can't remember which one they inducted John Gruden in, but I remember being frustrated at both those games because I thought, man, we could have beaten the freaking Patriots had Nick Folk not been Nick Folk. And then the Falcons game, I remember being extremely frustrating because the referee screwed us in that game.
Yeah.
At the very end, he took his time to put the football down. It was very frustrating. Very frustrating. I remember leaving very mad at that game.
What is, let me ask you something, James. What is your least favorite memory? Like what's the biggest, whatever word you want to use for that, least favorite memory as a Bucs fan? Worst moment?
Man. I mean, there can be a handful, obviously. I was doing a series on the channel that I still am. It's called like Buccaneers Misery History. Right. I go through the most miserable moments in Buccaneers history, all the way back since 76. I go all the way through. And I know it wasn't all fully his fault, but that Greg Schiano era really made me upset in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, just nothing went right. Nobody liked Greg Schiano. Look, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I'm
not sure about that.
Okay, maybe he's not a nice guy, but I just remember just nobody liked Greg Schiano. The players, I feel like, didn't like him that much. People around the league didn't like Greg Schiano that much. So maybe just that entire tenure. I mean, that was a lot of bad things happened, man. A lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's actually a really good point. That's pretty bad. Johnny, you'll be great to ask this question too. Least favorite moment as a Bucs fan?
The Ray Perkins era.
That's true. Yeah, that was a big deal.
All right. For me, it's the Bert Emanuel catch.
That's the rule.
Yeah. That hurts. When I think about that, that hurts because the Bucs could have had one more Super Bowl under their belt.
They would have kept. I would venture to say that Dungy would never have left.
Right.
And he may very well still be here.
That brought in the era of what's a catch.
Right.
That brought in the whole era. And actually, that should have started with the Immaculate Reception, but they just glossed that over because there wasn't a camera angle on it.
Right.
Camera angle, and they didn't realize that it was fumbled twice or something.
Well, that was actually that Bert Emanuel catch when he caught it. I mean, you watched it 3-4 times. If you listen to it, and I don't have it up here to play, but if you listen to it, the announcers are like, "Yeah, that's a catch."
Well, they do that now,
right? But then they come back and they're like, "Nope."
I don't know what you do. I don't know what they call it.
Absolutely no video evidence because it just happened to be right here, and the angle stopped right there before you could see.
You're talking for. You're talking Immaculate Reception.
Immaculate Reception, yeah.
James.
Yeah, I have a question. One more question I wanted to ask James. He reminded me of it in one of his answers when he mentioned the Ring of Honor. I do believe there are people in this group right now who don't believe this particular person I'm getting ready to mention deserves to be in the Bucs Ring of Honor yet.
No.
How do you feel
Don't say
about
G-Man.
Tom Brady being in the Bucs Ring of Honor?
Okay.
After
Well, I
one?
have no problem with that.
All right.
It's an interesting question, right? I mean, he won the Buccaneers the Super Bowl in his first year.
Right.
You know, I mean, you look at the Broncos. I mean, I think if Tom plays, I mean, I think he'll probably be in regardless because it's the Glaziers. I mean,
Thank you.
They'll put him in. But should he be in? I mean, Peyton played 4 years for Denver. He won him one Super Bowl, went to another one, and they're putting him in this upcoming season. So I've always been under the belief that Tom, when everything is said and done, he's, I think he could play 4 years total with the Bucs and then be done. I think that's a possibility.
He's got to go to 49.
Right? So I mean,
you got to go to 49.
With Tom, you never know.
They just said 55.
Did you hear, James? Did you hear the question that I brought up earlier about? I want you to just roll with me for a second, okay? Because it's bizarre to think about what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
Pretend the Buccaneers have an undefeated season and win the Super Bowl this year.
Okay.
All right. Then they go back and three-peat. Maybe not undefeated, but they go back and three-peat. What jersey does Tom Brady wear in the Hall of Fame? If he does a three-peat with the Bucs and 1 year is undefeated, and he had 20 years,
they would figure out. They'd probably just induct him twice. They'd probably just figure out how to get him in there twice. They'd do something. They would do something. But
welcome to the Tom Brady Hall of Fame.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I mean, geez, because what do you do it? Because he would have what, 9, 10 Super Bowls at that point around there. I mean, that's stupid.
Nine.
Yeah.
That's stupid, right? Yeah. I mean, hell, it's stupid that he's at 7 now. Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, man, if that happened, that'd be disgusting. I mean, disgusting in a good way.
Yeah, but it's weird to think about that when Tom Brady came here, it was like, yeah, okay, we're gonna get Brady for a year or two, and
right,
okay, and now all of a sudden you look at it and you realize, I mean, if he did what I just said about the undefeated season and then the three-peat, the bulk of the Tom Brady story, the highlight of the Tom Brady story, I'm gonna say this, just think about this. If he did what I said, the highlight of the Tom Brady career is in Tampa.
Right.
After 20 years with New England. I mean, hell, you could make like a 10-hour movie about Tom Brady at that point. I mean,
oh wow, yeah.
Not just that, but Tom Brady will have established who was more important, Belichick or himself.
No doubt.
Right. I think did that. I mean,
that's up for debate depending on how this upcoming season ends.
Right,
I mean,
could be in the Super Bowl against us this year.
Yeah. But I think it's funny that there are people who are discussing legitimately how, wow, what if he went into the Hall of Fame as a Buck? And some of those same people don't think he deserves to be in the Ring of Honor. I'm like, how do you not put who you consider to be the greatest player of all time, but he's not good enough to be in your Ring of Honor? I don't understand.
The moment he put ink on the paper, they should have gone ahead and inducted him.
I mean, just think of it. I mean, if anything for the Glaziers, I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea. Of course, I'm not knocking them for it. Hell, I would do it if I was the owner. I mean, that's just a feather in the cap, right? You had Tom Brady. He helped you win one Super Bowl. You had the greatest player in NFL history on your team
Is Brad Johnson up on the ring?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't think he's in.
I don't believe he's in.
I shall
King now.
Yeah,
he won the Super Bowl.
Matt'll find out.
He did.
So statement. I believe Brady. There'll be a statue of Brady in front of Bucs Stadium before there's one in New England. I do believe that.
I thought you were going to say there's going to be a statue in front of the stadium of Tom before Brad Johnson. I was like, well, that's something.
Brad
Johnson's already got a statue. Brad Johnson already has one.
Yeah,
doesn't he?
Right.
Yeah.
So
what did you say?
Brady, a statue of him in New England?
No, Brad Johnson in Tampa. There's already one there.
What? Right. There's one in the lobby.
In the lobby of
or
the whatever Advent Health Facility or whatever it's called this week.
Right. So I mean, if Tom plays 4 years, I mean, he's going to the playoffs the next 3. If he goes to the playoffs the next 3 years, he already won the Buccaneers, won Super Bowl. I mean, I would say, yeah. I mean, considering also the Glazers would think like, hey, that's just a good look for us,
Right.
And I always compare it to, what Denver's doing right now with Peyton and the run he had. And it would make sense to me. It would.
Right. Now, who's the odd man out in the running back room?
Well, this shifted gears.
We've been doing this. I've been asking this question all night.
The odd man out. I mean, you got to go with Keyshawn Vaughn, right?
Yeah,
that's the obvious answer. I mean, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, they're going to be fighting for that number 1 spot. Whoever doesn't win that, they'll probably still have some type of role, right? Giovanni Bernard, he's the receiving guy.
Well, that's what I think is interesting, James. You just brought up something. This is why I think Leonard Fournette's the lead back.
Okay.
Leonard Fournette is going to be fighting for the first and second down carries, and he's also going to be fighting to be the receiving back because he used to be very good at that, even though he wasn't so much last year. So he's good at both.
Yeah.
Rojo, can we just stop throwing the ball in his direction?
I actually just saw on Pro Football Focus today. I was recording some content for the channel, and I saw that Pro Football Focus said that he had 11% of his catchable targets were drops, which was a pretty interesting stat.
Right.
Which was just kind of blue. Well,
I knew Rojo.
Talking about Rojo.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I still think that Giovanni Bernard, I think he's pretty much entrenched. I mean, you hear about him in OTAs, you hear about him in mandatory minicamp. Like the dude's been electric. I mean, we've seen the thigh photos, I mean, he's going nuts here. And I'm sorry, Matt, you got something?
I just looked it up. He's not.
Oh,
He's
okay.
Johnson is not.
Okay, Brad Johnson is not inducted in the.
So who goes first, Brad Johnson or Hardy Nickerson?
Nickerson.
Should have been there already.
Yeah.
Right.
Or Wilder.
Yeah.
Right. James Wilder, that one has been a years long debate there.
Okay, I'm going to hop in because I've actually never hopped in on this debate.
Okay.
On the James Wilder debate. And I'm probably going to get pushback.
Oh, here we go.
Look, I am not. I love James Wilder. I have great memories of James Wilder.
Seasons.
What?
I was talking to somebody else.
Okay. My thought process about James Wilder is this. I appreciate what you did. You did it briefly, but you did it well. And I just feel like there are other players who contributed over more time and to greater success than Wilder. So if Wilder's going to get in, and I don't have a problem with it, like if they decide to put him in, I'm not going to be like, that guy doesn't deserve it. I just feel like there are other people who deserve it first.
Like Brad Johnson, who won the Super Bowl and never got mentioned except he's in the statue in the office.
Can I say something about Wilder real
That's
quick?
where he deserves to be, Matt.
In the office?
Wilder came in and had 2 great seasons and pushed that team way above their level at that time. For the impact that he had on the team, singularly had on that offense, I might put him in the Ring of Honor, but not on any of his average performances. No.
Right. And
he was the first 3 downs for everything in offense for a couple of years. It's like up the middle, off to the right.
That's the problem. A couple of years though. See, he had 2 great years.
For what, 5? And it was like everybody the whole stadium knew you're going to hand it off to Wilder.
But he had 3 great years in his entire career, man.
But okay, but then you got to ask yourself: Does Brad Johnson belong there? Because he only had.
I would not deny Brad Johnson
in the Ring of Honor.
He led them to a Super Bowl
in the Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor. Yeah, Brad Johnson. Look.
You're right. You know what? And the Ravens
get all their scores from the defense. Steven, they didn't get all of their scores from the defense. Brad Johnson managed those games and put the points on the board.
You didn't have to put that many points on the board.
No, they didn't have to, but they did.
2003, in 2003,
What was
Brad
the
Johnson
final
was the
score in
highest
that
rated
Super
quarterback in the
Bowl?
league, man.
What was the
highest
final
quarterback
score
rated in
in
the
that
league.
Super Bowl? Okay, over Oakland. What was the final score?
Like
Anybody
105 to
remember?
6.
Huh?
It was like 50 something to 6, wasn't it?
45-24.
Yeah, 45, something like that.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
thought it
Brad
was,
Johnson did just fine. He did what was necessary. He did what I have no problem with
42-21.
Brad Johnson.
That's
I would put Brad
that's
Johnson
not Ring
in
of
before.
Honor worthy. The Ring
Listen,
of Honor does not mean you. Good job. You did your job adequately.
no, it's not
That's
just
what the ring
good
is for.
job. It's not just good job. That's James Wilder.
Right.
Okay. That Brad Johnson led them to a championship. Okay. Now I got an
Johnson
interesting
to Johnson.
profile.
Remember that?
James.
Remember that phrase during that era? Johnson to Johnson? Come on, man.
All right. I got James. I got a question.
Yes.
Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Tony Dungy.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
All day long.
For me, see,
He's not in there, is he?
I
I
believe
think he is.
Tony Dungy's in. He got inducted in
Yes.
2018.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
I think
don't
they added
remember
Monty
being
Kiffin to
inducted.
the
Okay,
list.
I knew Gruden did. I didn't know Dungy also did.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Because I'm glad. I'm very happy. I thought he hadn't been, and I'm like, there's no way I'm putting Wilder in before Dungy.
You want a real hard one? Should Rich McKay be in there now that he's with the Falcons?
He is in there, isn't he?
John
believe he
McKay's
is.
in there.
John
Or
is.
John,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
I'd be interested because I know James is a statistician. So what would you say? I don't agree with the Brad Johnson in the Ring of Honor, and I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. He's not. He did good. His overall stats aren't great, but he did good.
He did
I just
good.
think of Trent Dilfer. I really do get those two confused. I'm not saying that.
Trent Dilfer threw for
I'm not
like.
saying it to be. I'm not saying it to
Hold
be
on.
cruel.
Hold on.
You
No,
had
that's
two.
not fair,
You
Steven.
had two all-star defenses that took teams to the Super Bowl. So I want to know from James.
No,
James,
it's
what,
not.
I understand. I'm just asking James. What do you think is the criteria for a Ring of Honor?
For me, it's a mix of having good stats, but also historical significance, like story significance, like Brad Johnson was the quarterback in the first Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl win, and he was a capable quarterback for the Buccaneers for a handful of years. I think James Wilder should also be in as well, because he was really really the guy on an offense during a period where it was a little bleak, to be nice. So when I look at who needs to go into a Ring of Honor, I always think about, like, in terms of historical storyline, I guess, importance, like in history, like who do you think of throughout the decades? When you think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers during those decades, starting off in their early history, you think of guys like James Wilder and some of the other guys there, when you think about the Buccaneers Super Bowl win, you think of the defense. A lot of those guys are in the Ring of Honor. Some of those guys are in the Hall of Fame. And, I think a lot of people would think about Brad Johnson at the quarterback position, So I know I like stats a lot, and I know I deep dive into it, but I also think just story significance, the story of a team, I think is really huge in terms of picking guys for a Ring of Honor.
I can buy that. Yeah.
This is my thing about the years that James Wilder was there. They as much as Wilder was something, the team was not. And they're very forgettable years.
Under that criteria that Mr. Bucks Nation just said, being there, like you, I think of Richard Batman Woods first. I think of Dewey Sheldon first. Those guys aren't in the Ring of Honor yet.
Right.
Hardy
Richard Batman would probably will never be, but I mean, there are guys that, like, I mean, honestly, I would probably put Ricky Bell in before I would put Wilder.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, Ricky Bell, can I ask you, this is going to sound terrible. Is Ricky Bell going in because of what happened to him?
No, because he had an amazing. The '79 season was Ricky Bell.
Right.
It's Ricky Bell and Leroy Selman, man. Come on. That's what 79 was.
Right.
I don't know. I don't remember Ricky Bell as much.
And the tight
That's
end.
just me.
I can't remember the tight end either.
Jimmy Giles.
Jimmy Giles. That is a monster of a man. Did you see him at the draft?
Yeah, Jimmy Giles.
Oh,
yeah.
So I'm one of the few people who, when he went in, there are people I would have put in before him.
Well, he played a tight end role, so that's why a lot of his play is man.
But no, I'm just saying I would have. I mean, to me, Kevin House was more important than Jimmy Giles.
I agree with that. Kevin House it's the most underrated,
right?
Most forgotten. Nobody talks about him.
Right.
I mean, that's sad, but it's true. And it's the same with Batman. That was the original Batman, not the '93, but the original Batman.
Richard Woods.
Right.
Richard Woods was awesome, and
he was a good linebacker.
James, we just threw you into the fire here tonight. Are you okay with this?
Oh, I'm fantastically fine with this. This is a good conversation.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's you were perfect for this. That's why I wanted to put you here because you had made a comment about liking the chaos and I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
I like it, man. I love it.
You know who else is not on there that made a big impact at the beginning was Dave Pear. And
Johnny's boy, you just all right. Hold on, here we go, Johnny. Go ahead.
I know. You don't have to bring me up. I ain't got to
Go
rant.
ahead,
you
Johnny,
guys got a lot, buddy. This is your turn.
No.
he just tweaked you like a Polk County resident. I mean, that is absolutely right up your wheelhouse right there, Johnny. You said Dave Pear, and I was like, Johnny just made Johnny's entire night.
I didn't know you were so fond of him.
I enjoyed watching Dave Pear play.
Yeah.
He was a hell of a player on a team that had nothing. I mean, outside of Leroy Selman in '77, he had Dave Pear.
Yeah.
That was
Who's the other? He's, I think, in the Ring of Honor. Why can't I think of his name? The other offensive lineman.
Pat
Gruber?
Pat Gruber. Paul Gruber.
Yeah,
Paul Gruber.
Yeah, he was a beast.
I mean, yeah.
Paul was inducted in 2012.
Yeah, he's in there.
Okay.
This year we're going to get Monty Kippen. He hadn't been up there yet, but he's
he is inducted now, isn't he?
No, it said they agreed to do it in February 2020.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. So I've got a question, James.
Sure.
I did this with the rest of the guys here.
Okay.
The record is, was it 9? Is that what we finally came down to? 9
12.
for the Ravens?
12.
Okay, 12. 12 players were in the Pro Bowl or were from the Ravens in 2019. All right. It's a lot. Let's go through 12. Okay.
from the Ravens,
From the Bucs this year.
Rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to go 2 rounds now. We're going to do it this way. James, you get the first pick. Who goes to the Pro Bowl?
Out of the entire team?
Yeah. You pick one. Pick one.
I pick one guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to do a draft when we're going to get to 12.
Okay, I'll put Tom Brady in the Pro Bowl.
Okay, Matt.
Wait, does it have to be players who like they're going to actually go? Because I don't think Tom would actually go.
No.
it could be
Just
selected.
Oh, okay.
selected.
Tom. I'll pick Tom Brady.
And I'm gonna steal somebody's thunder. Said Mike Evans last time.
Okay, Johnny.
LVD.
Okay. Andrew.
Devin White.
Steven.
Tristan Wirth.
You got me on that one. Doggone it. Okay. Somebody said Mike Evans.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to say Rob Gronkowski.
Yep.
All right, James.
Vita Vea.
Nice. That was nice. I think we were all planning on picking him next. Go ahead, Matt.
I'm gonna go back to what I said before. Lenny, touchdown, Lenny.
Okay.
Winfield.
Okay. Andrew.
Marpet.
There you go.
Oh.
I'll pick
Okay.
Jack.
You got me. Doggone it. You got me. Okay. And
I
there's
didn't hear
one
Steven.
more.
What did he say?
Yeah, he's Shaq.
Jack
All
Barrett.
right.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I'm going to say, for the sake of it, I'm going to say JPP.
Thank you. God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we just named 12.
Of the 22.
Antonio Brown didn't go.
Nope.
Chris Godwin didn't go.
Nope.
Okay. And Ndamukong Suh didn't go.
Nope.
None of the defensive backs went.
Jensen didn't go.
Okay.
LVD didn't go.
Right.
Yes,
No.
he did. I took him
Yeah,
first.
Oh, you did?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I want you guys to stop and think. Even if the Bucs equal 12, look at the guys I just said. AB didn't go.
Nope.
Chris Godwin didn't go.
Carlton Davis.
Carlton Davis didn't go. These guys didn't go. Now my point is this. at the end of this year, we are going to say certain Bucs got snubbed.
Yeah.
Because you can't have the entire Pro Bowl team be Buccaneers.
Yep.
So
I think
think
you
about
can.
it.
I
Even
just
if they
don't think they'll
tie
show
the
up.
record, you're going to be bitching about it. Okay? You're going to be saying, hey.
I bitch every year LVD is, man.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think
listen, when you got LVD right next to Devin White,
yeah,
they're probably not both going.
Right.
Shaq, I mean, LVD and Quan Alexander went at the same time.
I understand, but
I love
probably
LVD. I don't
not
think it's
going.
gone last year. Everyone that got named, and even including the 3 who didn't get named, except for Rob Gronkowski and Lenny, they shouldn't have gone. If you look at the body of the work for the season, but everyone else should have been in the Pro Bowl last year.
Well, but it's a popularity test.
Go ahead, Andrew.
We're going to have to get prime time.
Yeah.
I was just going to say it like this. I mean, I know we talk about Pro Bowls, and I'm not saying anything bad on the segment or anything. It's looking at, it looks at the movies like the Oscars.
Bad about the segment.
No. It look at it like the Oscars. When you look at movies like, say, like The Lord of the Rings, the first one compared to the second one. The first one was all the individual awards of the actors who made the movie great, right?
And special effects.
And then when you get to the third movie, it was everything else that made the movie and the franchise really, really great. We still want to stay on that type of a movie franchise. We want to make it the nice team. We don't necessarily care if we get one Pro Bowler or if everybody makes it to the Pro Bowl, which I'm not going to lie. The reason I brought up the Oscars thing, I think we can get 14 people on the Pro Bowl this year. If we went up and won the Super Bowl, I do think it could be 14. I'm not going to lie.
Well, we got 5 primetime games and then the playoffs. So people know who we are, though.
I just want the all-pro designations.
Being out on the street,
all-pro,
city, people know who the Buccaneers are.
Well, this is what's crazy is Matt, you're hitting on something dead on correct, and the value of those primetime games is something that gets lost. The importance of those primetime games, and that's how Devin White and these other players are all of a sudden everybody's like, wait, what? Who? Because they saw that Super Bowl.
Right.
You know what's funny is when I was talking to the Jacksonville Jaguars fan today that I was telling you guys about. The funny thing is, he never mentioned the offense. He goes, man, your defense is so good. And he started talking about how great the Bucs defense is. And to me, I have to laugh at that and think, you didn't mention Brady, Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, OJ Howard, Leonard Fournette.
Cameron Brate.
Yeah. You didn't mention any of these guys?
Yep.
Do you realize how good the defense is for those guys to not be mentioned? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And now when we just started picking the Pro Bowl, we didn't even hit any DBs or –
Nope.
Yeah. No Carlton Davis, no Sean Bunting, none of those guys.
So this is going to be an amazing year, guys. This is going to be an amazing year. And – I mean, I'm excited about it. By the way, Christopher Cole, yes, Jimmy Giles is in the Ring of Honor, absolutely.
Okay. Real quick question.
I want to say this. Joseph says he's talking about Trent and Brad benefiting from having historical defensive units. Here's the thing, Joseph. I know, I hear you, Steven, but here's the thing. The Bucs offense was a very good for the Bucs was a good offense that year. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just because the defense was that good, you don't look and go, oh yeah, because the defense was so good, we're going to ignore the offense. The offense worked at record pace that year. And if you remember what they did in the playoffs, the offense got to humming.
Yep.
In the playoffs. So
the Bucs offense was ranked 14th in 2000, and then it was ranked 18th, in 2001, and then it was ranked 18th in 2002. But we talked about this on the Chiefs seats before too, that Brad Johnson really did hit those like need to passes when it was actually needed
great
to.
Game manager. I'm not.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Well, he also had all
a Super Bowl victory.
Yeah, he had all spot. Exactly. Thank you, Johnny.
Right. So you know what? He beat Rich Gannon in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Well, that wasn't that hard.
in.
We had Rich Gannon's coach. I mean,
You're in.
We had the playbook. We knew all the audibles. I
You know
mean,
what?
right.
Here's the thing, though. Here's
Here's
the thing. Hold on. This defense did it all year long. It did it the week before to Philadelphia. It did it 2 weeks before to San Francisco. So don't give me that BS about.
Well, Lynch even said it on the tape when he's running over to see Gruden that it came out just the way you called it.
That's good coaching.
Just the way you told us. So
That's good coaching.
There's one trend I want the Bucs to stop right now.
What's that?
What?
In 2 Super Bowls, we've lost 4 games to the Saints. That has to end.
Right.
I agree.
If we don't lose to the Saints, we don't win the ring.
James,
Rick,
James sitting back going, these people are weird. Why am I still here?
Come on now, Rick. I'm having fun.
James, real quick. James, I just noticed James is the only person I believe who was in Tampa throughout this whole process. The rest of us are not in Tampa.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah.
What was it like? Just walk us through what it was like to not only win the championship, to go to the Super Bowl, what it was like after winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because not one other person on this screen other than you, James, not one other person here is in Florida.
Right.
Oh. Okay.
One of us isn't even in the States.
In the U.S.
Andrew, aren't you from Canada?
I'm from the motherland. Yeah.
Nice.
There's women on his money. There's women on all his money. I don't know.
Okay, now wait a minute. That wasn't a Bucs thing. No, but when they won the championship game, I remember I actually went to the airport to go see them get greeted back.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was wild. It made a great video, but I just remember there must have been over 1,000 people there, I think, just everybody freaking out. And then the players started coming, everybody started freaking out. Tom Brady's car came first. And I remember, you would have thought the Beatles were coming in, right? Because I remember the car came in. Everybody was like, the windows were heavily tinted. Everybody was like, is that Tom? And everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's Tom. And they started freaking out. I saw people who I was standing next to turn around and start sprinting to chase down Tom Brady's car. And I thought, what is happening? And they surrounded Tom Brady's car, and to the point where it couldn't keep on driving forward. And police officers had to come. They had to push everybody. Tom was laughing the whole time. He thought it was hilarious. They did it for Gronk. When Mike Evans came, it was just as bad. They were going nuts.
That's awesome.
Everybody was ingesting certain substances. It was wild. The Super Bowl, and that was just the championship game. So when they won the Super Bowl, I finished doing the live stream. A couple of buddies called me on the phone. They said, hey, we're going to Tampa to go celebrate the Super Bowl win. Do you want to go? And I went, might not be safe. I think I must stay home. I don't know if that's a good idea. Buddy of mine, he was in Tampa, and I said, how was it? He goes, James, it was insane. I said, really? He goes, we weren't out partying. We were just driving to the airport. We were driving back to the hotel room. He goes, there were people on top of their cars twerking, dancing. There were people running out to the highway. Right? So I mean, just it was, there were people running in the highways. It was chaos. It was chaos, man. So I mean, it was a really cool thing. It was a really, really cool thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Dangerous at certain points, but overall an awesome time.
And guys, and as a fan base, we're the only group who can say, well, we won it in our house.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's once in a lifetime kind of.
So by the way, if any one of you, Steven Glasker, if any one of you starts going, yeah, well, we had the coach from, we had Oakland's coach from the year before. Okay, well, this one, yeah, well, it was a home game. So, stop making excuses for when you win a freaking Super Bowl. Okay.
I would never make that excuse. I did hear an interesting stat, though. You probably love Rick. I didn't know this. Tom Brady, in his first year with the Bucs, accounted for 25% of their playoff wins in his first year.
We ought to give that guy a spot on the Ring of Honor. My God.
We might as well retire his number, right, Matt Colson?
Yeah, burn his number, that 12. Nobody else gets to wear it again. Nobody
Never.
That's right.
Doug Williams, who?
All right.
Last
Last question.
And a Buccaneer hat.
Last question. Does he get 5,000 yards this year?
Yes.
No. Why do we need to?
Wait.
I mean,
No.
he gets 3,500
Does he get 5,000
and-
yards this year?
Asking me?
Yeah.
I think he gets close, but I don't think he does.
Okay, Matt.
No, we don't need to.
Okay, Johnny.
We might not need to, but I think it'd be nice to have, and I think he might.
Okay, Andrew.
Yeah.
Okay, Steven.
He got 4,600 and didn't know the playbook. Of course,
right.
he got 5,000.
Doggone it, you're killing me tonight. I got to start going before you. You literally took my line. I was about to say the guy didn't know what was going on last year. He couldn't call plays, and he threw for 4,600 yards.
And an extra game.
Right, but the
Yes.
only thing, let me say this. Though. Oh,
Yes.
Can I change my answer?
That's right.
No.
Dang it.
Well, hold on though. Hold on. Here's what will help you with your answer that you gave though, James. Is this? I want you to think about this. If he knows the playbook, they're going to take a lead much quicker. So he's not going to need to throw for as many yards.
Exactly. That's my point. We got 16 running backs we got to feed.
Yeah. So that
I agree, Matt. I agree.
So that,
Will
that
Mike
may
Evans
make
get
total
his record over Randy Moss?
Yes. They're going to make sure Evans gets 1,000 yards. If it takes them the whole season to keep throwing it to him like they used to do with Jerry Rice.
I can't believe
would
they
get
did
him
it this
a
year.
play
I
call
can't believe he
and
got there
he
this
gets
year.
one catch.
That was close.
But didn't he already have the record?
To miss that many
He kept
games.
that record running for almost a year and a half after he broke it.
Yeah.
Because he had a deal where you're going to throw me the ball, even if it's a 3-yard out, I'm going to catch one pass per game.
Yeah.
And when it didn't happen, he wanted to walk off the damn team. He was pissing like a little baby. And I lost a lot of respect for old Jerry that day.
Like a little baby.
Welcome, James.
Oh, yeah.
James, if you didn't know it already, Matt Colson's in Oklahoma.
What does that have to do with pissing like a baby?
All right, let's do this. James, I'm going to let you scoot out of here, and then we're going to call it a night. James, where does everybody find you? And thank you so much for your patience and having fun with us tonight and doing this gets a little crazy. We have a good time with it. And I'm telling you, if you ever really have guts, come on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man.
Well, I'll have to keep my Saturdays open then. But
if you like chaos.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I thank you guys for having me on. Greatly appreciated. I'm on YouTube at Mr. Bucs Nation. Been doing a lot of content covering certain rankings that have been done recently by Pro Football Focus. Just covered the mandatory minicamp and OTAs with some really good points of discussion there. And just Mr. Bucs Nation on YouTube is where you can find me. Basically trying to upload a video a day, and it's a lot of fun. Again, thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you for being on Mr. Bucs Nation.
Hold on. Thank you. Sorry, I just had a technical issue here.
Where
do
that's
they find you? Where is it? One more time. Where do they find you?
Mr. Bucs Nation on YouTube.
Like
Rick, you're right.
You need a new producer.
Listen,
that's
this
a big problem.
This isn't Saturday, but this is getting pretty close now to Saturday.
There we go. There we go. Sorry, guys.
That was your preview of Saturday.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, James, congrats on the 10K plus, brother, by the way. Good job.
Yeah, good job, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I got to get more music videos out with me dressing up like a pirate and dancing at St. Pete
That was
Beach.
cool. I saw that.
Awesome.
It was very awkward.
James, thank you for coming by, my friend.
Thanks so much. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
To have you.
See ya.
All right, Johnny.
I'm right here, and on Thursday nights I'll be with Alex Loosemore at 11 o'clock on Bucs Report.
Awesome. Very cool. Looking forward to it, my friend. And what's happening in sports and entertainment is his Facebook presence and Twitter presence and all of that. So you don't want to miss that. Andrew.
Man, Rick, you literally look like if like a camera was looking through a teddy bear or something like that right now.
It is kind of weird, isn't it? It's a nanny cam. I thought he had real.
All right, you're getting it. It is what it is, my friend.
Yeah. Anyways, you can find me at Andrew_Fulbear on Twitter. I do No Sports Dynasty, which is every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. That's my time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's your time. And I also do the cheap seats on Sundays, which is 6:30 p.m. my time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I will see you guys then, and I will see you on Saturday as well, Rick. Have yourselves a good one, and thank you for having me as always.
Thank you, Andrew.
See you guys.
See you later. All right. Well,
Steven on. Just said not.
No, it was my fault. I was clicking Andrew, but he beat me to it.
You need to quit clicking, Rick. Whatever you're touching.
Okay, you guys want to know what's hilarious is my camera's on a tripod and the front leg is sticking underneath my desk, and I knocked the camera completely over. So
nice.
While James was doing his exit, I'm running around the desk, setting the camera back up, doing it again, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a disaster.
You need a new producer. You need to fire the cat.
Yes, I do. No. This time the cat can't fire me on this one. Go. I can fire the freaking cat. So anyway. All right, guys. Anybody want to talk about where they find you online or anything?
Yeah, you can find me on Rick's Teddy Cam, not doing anything inappropriate. No, just have it set up, Rick, for the next show. I'm looking forward to it, brother.
I'll see you Friday night, my friend.
All right,
Wait till the dude gets a hold of this tape. It's going to be terrible. All right, man. I'm with you on Mondays and Fridays and Saturdays sometimes. So
excellent.
You can catch me around another week.
Yep, we will see you on Friday. All right, guys. Now, sorry about the blurriness. There's not much I can do about it right now. It is what it is. We'll finish this thing out. Here is the deal. I want to thank all you guys: Joseph, Stephen, Rich, Christopher Cole, Johnny. There's so many of you: Johnny Johnson, Johnny Dean. You guys brought it tonight. Stephen Glasker. You guys all brought it in the chat. To Tapazio, however you say your name. I'm not sure. I am not certain. But all of you guys brought it tonight in chat. Thank you, Joe McCaffrey, Wade Sowers, all of you. Thank you very much, Steven Stiles. And we're going to do one more thing before we close out. And I'm going to catch all kinds of grief for knocking my camera over. How you doing, dude?
Hello, my friend. I just wanted to say hello.
Hello.
How's the show going?
The show went great.
Awesome. Hey, big shout out to Matthew Davis from Heavy on Buccaneers, and of course James from Mr. Buck Nation and the Miscreants. Rick, I just wanted to say, hey, good to see you back there, buddy, with the jacket, looking all professional, and that we'll call that in the background there, the Bucs Report Mothership Home Stage Theater Studio filming location. Anyway, I just wanted to jump on and say, hey, man, great show, guys. We appreciate everybody that shared it. Again, tune in. Let's see, what's tomorrow, Rick? Tuesday?
Yep.
Tune in tomorrow for the Hard Count Football Podcast at 7 p.m. right here live on Bucs Report with Jacob Charnow.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then Wednesday is the over-under with Harry the Greek and usually Ray Kennedy. So that's pretty awesome, guys. Thank you, dude.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. All right, guys. Have a great night. I'm going to close this thing out with a commercial since I didn't play one. And this is for What's Cooking in the South on Saturday night. Thanks for being here. Sorry about the kicking the camera over. Have a great night.